What is good, my Rags and Fitness people, my Rags and Fitness folks, my Rags and Fitness fam? It's your man Rags back off up in this thing, guys. Back here again with some college football news, man. Some of the latest scores, predictions, whatever you want to call it, man. You can find it right here on Rags and Fitness football channel, right? Hey, guys. Like I said before, I appreciate you guys for coming in, liking, subscribing. Guys, please hit the post notification bell so you can get notified when old Rags drops some content, right? As you guys know, this is a Alabama football channel, college football channel. We talk recruiting, we talk everything, right? We talk all teams, not just Alabama, not just SEC. We talk all teams, right? I'm gonna broaden my horizons. We're gonna start talking about more lifestyle type things, man. We're gonna talk about more things, motivational things, man. The way that God it has touched us and guiding us in a different direction, right? That's gonna be a thing that we talk about, guys. So anybody that's interested in that, we will talk about it. Hey, if I can, I would transition straight into that and talk nothing else but that. I love my Alabama football, and that's the reason why I talk about it, guys. But with all of that being said, guys, I would like to go back and do a recap of this last week, right? What happened, right? And it all started on Tuesday, October the 17th, guys. Guys, we are starting to play football on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We played Sunday earlier this year, guys, but that's the great thing about college football. You can get this stuff, man, 4-5 days out the week. To me, it's the greatest sports right now in the land is college football, man. So let's talk about it, guys. The first game that we're going to talk about, right? Middle Tennessee versus Liberty, right? Here the score was Liberty 42, Middle Tennessee 35, right? So you got a 7-point victory there. Middle Tennessee, the game was at Liberty. Liberty was a hard team to beat last year with the Hugh Freeze on that team, man, but he's no longer there. And right now, Liberty is not looking the way that they was last year, but hey, hats off to Middle Tennessee for beating them. And let's go to this next game here, man. You got Western Kentucky and Jacksonville State. Now, I got a thing for Jacksonville State, man. Those are Gamecocks, man. Jacksonville State won the game 20-17. They played in Jacksonville State, Calhoun County, Alabama. Stand up, man. I see y'all out there, man. So, those old Gamecocks, man, they pulled it out, man, 20-17. You gotta love it, man. Go Gamecocks. South Alabama versus Southern Miss, South Alabama. Hey, I see y'all down there in Mobile, man. My Alabama brethren down there, man. University of South Alabama beat you guys 55-3, guys. So hey, man, they took them out to the woodshed. Southern Miss, they've had some hard fighting teams, you know, previous years, man, but they just couldn't do it with South Alabama. So that wraps up Tuesday, October the 17th. Wednesday, October 18th, you had Florida International versus Sam Houston, and Florida International squeaked out of that one with 2 overtimes, man, 33-27. Shout out to Florida International. We see you guys down there, man. New Mexico State versus UTEP. I have attended a UTEP game this season, man. And if I was rooting for anybody in this game, probably would have been UTEP, but UTEP got blasted, man. New Mexico State beat them 28-7. And that was a Wednesday roundup, man. October 18th, 2023. It's that time of year, man. We love it. We got football around the clock, guys. Let's talk about Thursday, October 19th. We had 2 games. We had Rice versus Tulsa. Now, we watched Rice earlier this season against the Texas Longhorns, and they held their own, you know, for the first 3 quarters. But they beat Tulsa 42-10, man. The guy JT Daniels had 342 passing yards. We've seen JT Daniels passed around on a lot of teams, man. Shout out to you, JT Daniels, man. Like I say, Rice went to Tulsa and they beat them, man, 42-10. That's a good road win for Rice. Hey guys, let's talk about Marshall versus James Madison. Now, James Madison, we're used to these guys being a FCS team, man, but they are FBS now, man. And these guys are playing some football against some of these bigger schools, man, bigger teams. And Marshall, James Madison beat them 20-9, guys. Shout out to James Madison. We see you guys. All right, that rounds out the Thursday games, right? It was only 2. Now Friday, October 20th, that's usually a high school football day, but let's talk about it. Southern Methodist University versus Temple, and Southern Methodist blasted them, wouldn't even let them score. I mean, they put a goose egg on the board, man. 55-0. Shout out to Southern Methodist, man. You're doing your thing, man. That was the only game that was played Friday, and here comes Saturday, guys. Saturday, October 21st, right? The third Saturday in October, right? So, we got Michigan versus Michigan State. Michigan State, we wish you would have put up a bigger challenge. But Michigan is usually a rival game. But Michigan State, man, you guys have been going through a lot lately. You're losing your head coach. The scandals that's been going on. And he's fighting back, though. He's saying, hey, you guys, you fired me without knowing all of the information. That's besides the point, man. Michigan blew these guys out. Let's talk another goose egg, man. 49-0. And they went into Lansing. They went into East Lansing and did it, man. Michigan State, Sparta. What happened to you, man? You didn't do what you were supposed to do. Let's keep it in the Big Ten, man. Penn State, Ohio State. Number 7 versus number 3. Ohio State squeaked out one. 20-12. Penn State was pretty pedestrian, man. They couldn't really get anything going against Ohio State. And Ohio State squeaked that one out. Ohio State will probably remain number 3, which I think they should jump number 2 over Michigan State. But none of this matters because here comes the playoff committee, guys. Here comes the playoff committee. Let's talk about Duke and Florida State. Duke had Florida State on the ropes, man. And a lot of people was cheering for Duke to beat Florida State. I had earlier this season, I predicted Florida State to be one of the 4 teams to make the playoffs. But now, Rags, have to root against Florida State, right? Because I want my team to slide in, which you all know who's my team. My team is Alabama. I need Florida State to lose some games, man. But Florida State is still looking strong. They pulled it out late, 38-20. Let's talk Arizona and Washington, man. Arizona haven't won anything but like one game, I think, man. Washington barely squeaked by 15-7. Number 5, Washington. That don't look good on your resume. Barely squeaking one out on Arizona State. Let's talk UCF and Oklahoma. Now, before the game, right, old Rex had UCF giving Oklahoma all they can handle, and that's exactly what happened because this is the type of team that Oklahoma struggles with. Why? I don't know. I think they have Kansas next, and there's going to be another one, man, that they may struggle with, and they're going to Kansas. But UCF went to Oklahoma, man. They went to Oklahoma and gave them all they can handle, and Oklahoma squeaked it out, 31-29. That boy Dylan Gabriel had 253 passing yards, man. He's been a guy that they have depended on. He's pulled them out of a lot of trouble. So Oklahoma, you're still there. Hey man, number 6 in the nation, you're unscathed. We see you, but you're gonna fall. Okay, let's talk about Texas. Number 8 Texas to Houston. That was another one, man. Texas scrapped by Houston. Houston came out balling. They was playing in Houston. Houston, man. Houston had your number for a minute, but you just pulled that one out, 31-24. Longhorns, I see you. I will throw it up for you, baby. We see you. We see you. So, Washington State, Oregon. That one was a little closer than, a lot of people think, but Washington State was ranked a few weeks ago, and they was a tough team, man. They hadn't really played anybody, but they was a tough outing for anybody, man. But Oregon, that running game of Oregon, man, is crazy. Bucky Irving, man, that guy's a monster. He had 129 rushing yards against this Washington State team, man. And Oregon is going to be a team to watch out for as far as the playoffs go. I know Washington beat them, but they may play them again. We don't know yet, but Oregon is keeping on rolling. They're number 9 right now, according to the AP poll. Well, the one that I'm looking at, it was number 9. So let's go on down to number 10, and this is where it get interesting at, man. North Carolina versus Virginia. Number 10, North Carolina loses to Virginia, which Virginia had only won one game at that point in time. Now they are a 2-win team. UVA beat them 31-27. North Carolina, that's unacceptable, man. We was counting on you guys going and playing some good ACC football so we can see you in the ACC championship game and maybe seeing some fireworks, but you failed to Virginia. You still got some good teams you got to play. Dukes and, a few more teams you're going to have to play, man. But North Carolina, we see you. You lost that one. Thank you for that, North Carolina, because you move us up just a tad bit. Now, let's talk about the game that I'm more interested in out of any game. We're talking about number 11, Alabama. versus number 17 Tennessee. We won that game 34-20, but if anybody watched that game, they see that Tennessee pretty much dominated us in the first half, right? It was all Tennessee. And whatever we did when we came back, Tennessee came right back down in the second quarter and scored another touchdown and went into the half. I think it was 20-7, right? And it didn't look too good. I never gave up. I don't know about any other Alabama fan. I hear a lot of Alabama fans, we all gave up. No, don't speak for everybody. Speak for you. Because I never gave up on them. I never have. I've been telling a lot of people throughout this season that this is the team that we have. How many games have we had to come back from the second half and play? The only game was Arkansas, and we didn't do good in the second half in that one at all. But most of these games, we come back in the second half and we play. So you could call us a second half team, whatever you want to call us, man. But we come out and we put it together in the second half, and we usually win the game, man. There's one game that we lost. That was against Texas. Right now, Texas standing at number 8. But we beat them. We beat Rocky Top, man. We smoked cigars, and everything was all good, right? Let's talk about Auburn and Ole Miss. These teams, to me, in the history of these two teams, they mirror each other, if you ask me. It's just, I guess, a rags thing, man. When I see these two teams, I think of the other one, right? Ole Miss and Auburn, right? And Auburn right now has a former coach of Ole Miss, Mr. Hugh Freeze. Now, Auburn didn't back down. Auburn don't have the best team this year. They don't have a good quarterback situation going on, but they didn't back down, and they don't back down. And that's the thing about Auburn, man. They barely lost this one, 28-21 at home. They're a feisty little team, man. Their record don't really show it like that, but they're feisty, man. Ole Miss rolled. The Ole Miss Rebels rolled over the Auburn Tigers. War Eagle, man. Let's talk about Utah and USC. Utah has been a thorn in USC's side, man. Number 14 at the time, Utah, and number 18 at the time, USC. Guys, this is a Pac-12 matchup, man. It seemed like the last couple of years that's been, it counted for something, right? It seemed like the last couple of years, USC is trending downward as far as playing in Utah. Utah is trending upward. Utah has USC number. They beat them twice last year, and they beat them in the Pac-12 championship game. Utah is a scary team, and they don't even have their starting quarterback playing, man. I like what Utah is doing, and Utah is going to upset a lot of people that's supposed to be going into those playoffs, you know, regarded as one of the top teams. So we're not going to say which teams, but Utah is going to upset some people, man. Let's talk about Army and LSU. Not even a match, man. Not even close. It's another goose egg, man. LSU, right now, they're gearing up to play Alabama. They have an off week next week, man, and they want to give it their all. And they're coming out. It's going to be a clash of the Titans. LSU beats Army 62-0. Jayden Daniels throws for 279 yards. Guys, let's talk South Carolina versus Missouri. South Carolina went to Missouri, and South Carolina has not shown themselves to be the team that we thought that they would be. They left off last year on a great note, but these fighting Shane Beamers, man, they just haven't been getting it done. Spencer Rattler, we expected a lot out of him. Now, Spencer Rattler lost a lot last year. There's some stuff he's not playing with this year. Hey, man. Spencer Rattler, I hate to see you go out like this, man, but go out on your shield. You know what I'm saying? You guys fell to number 20, Missouri, which, man, is a tough task. That's a daunting task right there, going into Missouri and beating them. Right now, they're ranked number 20, according to this last poll. I know it's an updated one out, but I'm going off the one that's written right here on this ESPN article, right? Missouri won the game 34-12. Shots out to them. Spencer Rattler was the high thrower with 217 yards. Air Force and Navy. Armed Forces, man, and I'm going to go for the Air Force every time. I like what the Air Force is doing. Air Force beat them 17-6. Hey guys, Air Force, go in there and get it, baby. All right, let's go with North Texas and Tulane. Tulane is still in the top 25, man. They scratching, man. Tulane 35, University of North Texas 28. Minnesota and Iowa, man. They always play each other close, man, and it's always a heated battle. Number 24, Iowa at the time, which they're probably not number 24 anymore because they lost to an unranked Minnesota 12-10. Very close game. UCLA and Stanford. Now, Stanford coming off a high, beating those Colorado Buffaloes, right? But UCLA put them right back in their place. UCLA goes in, number 25 at the time. They go in and beat Stanford at Stanford 42-7. Guys, this game right here, Mississippi State and Arkansas, if I had to bet on this game, I wouldn't know who to bet on, man. But it's a good one to watch because both of these guys are in a similar situation. They're both at the bottom of the SEC West, man. And they just fighting and scratching to see which team is going to end up being at the bottom. And it looks like it's going to be Arkansas because Mississippi State squeaked one out on them. 4-point victory, man. 7-3. Could you imagine watching that game? 1 touchdown, 1 field goal. That's all you got. The rest was defense, right? Rutgers, Indiana. Rutgers beat them 31, Indiana 14. Georgia Tech, Boston College. Georgia Tech just can't catch a break. The only break that they caught was against Miami. Miami, that hurt Miami so bad with Georgia Tech beating them. But Boston College came down to Atlanta, Bobby Dodd Stadium, and beat them 38-23. Baylor and Cincinnati. Baylor rolls over Cincinnati in Cincinnati, Ohio, 32-29. Memphis and UAB. Now, UAB, I got a thing for you. I love my UAB Blazers. The Trent Dippers, the fighting Trent Dippers down there. But Memphis came down. Those boys from Orange Mound. Shout out to my guys, 8Ball and MJG. Memphis and Birmingham, the Chitlin Circuit, man. These guys came down and beat UAB 45-21 at UAB Protective Stadium, I think is the name of it. All right, guys. Western Michigan, Ohio, the battle of the Midwest, right? Ohio beat them 20-17. Charlotte and East Carolina. Charlotte shocked East Carolina 10-7. East Carolina every now and then had that team that like to beat those juggernaut teams, right? University of Louisiana I said Louisiana Mo. Louisiana Monroe versus Georgia Southern. Georgia Southern beat them 38-28. Blake Murphy, 320 passing yards. He had the high. Akron versus Bowling Green, right? Kentucky versus Ohio. Bowling Green beat them pretty bad. Beat them pretty decisively, 41-14. Wisconsin, Illinois. Hard-nosed Midwestern football, man. You got Wisconsin winning 25-21. I'm going to tell you guys something. Watch out for Wisconsin. They could spoil a lot of these big teams, a lot of these higher-ranked teams' dreams this year, i.e. Ohio State. Watch out for it. South Florida versus UConn. South Florida pulled it out 24-21. South Florida, I think they're 4-4, 5-4, something like that right now. 4-4, I think. These guys have been working ever since Alabama beat them. They gave Alabama a scare down there in South Florida at Raymond James Stadium. So, hey man, Pittsburgh versus Wake Forest. Pittsburgh is trending downward, man. Wake Forest won 21-17. Wake Forest may be another one of those teams that may give some of these ACC big wigs, these big guys, man. They might give them a run for their money. Oklahoma State versus West Virginia. Oklahoma State 48-34. Oklahoma Sooners. You better watch out for Oklahoma State, man. Stillwater versus Bethlehem, whatever it is. Hey, man, you better watch out for those guys, man. Central Michigan versus Ball State. Ball State beat them 24-17. Eastern Michigan versus Northern Illinois, 20-13. Northern Illinois at home beats Eastern Michigan. Buffalo versus Kent State. Kent State at home. Buffalo beat them on the road, 24-6. Toledo versus Miami. This is a lot of Midwest football we're talking right here. Miami of Ohio. Toledo beat them 21-17. Toledo goes on the road, beat Miami of Ohio. University of Texas San Antonio goes on the road against Florida Atlantic. Those fighting Lane Kiffins. The Boca Raton guys, man. 36-10 University of Texas San Antonio wins that game. Hawaii versus New Mexico. Hawaii is no match on the road at New Mexico, losing 42. New Mexico, Hawaii 21. Texas Tech versus BYU. BYU wins that game 27-14. We all know Brigham Young, man, over there in Utah. They have lost some games they were supposed to win, but they also won some games that, hey, man, we would have thought they may have lost. BYU is going to scare some teams this year, man. Some bigger teams out there with a bigger ranking, higher ranking. They're going to scare some guys. Stay tuned. TCU and Kansas State, right? Kansas State has got TCU's number. They beat them last year in the Big 12 championship. Kansas State is another team that's going to scare some of these guys. They got a game with Texas coming up not too long from now, and I believe they're going to do it. Kansas State at home beats TCU 41-3. Appalachian State, Old Dominion. Old Dominion is doing what they need to do, and they beat a pesky Appalachian State team 28-21. Coastal Carolina, which was a Cinderella team last year, they did a great job, man. I mean, they went undefeated for the longest, and they ended up losing later on in the season and kind of dropped 2 or 3 games, I think, in a row. But Arkansas State, they went to Arkansas State and beat those guys 27-17. Colorado State at UNLV, University of Las Vegas, right? University of Las Vegas at home in that game. They won it 25-23. They squeaked by old Colorado State Rams, right? Utah State versus San Jose State. San Jose State at home beats Utah State 42-21. And this game was pretty interesting right here, guys. ACC, Clemson and Miami. Now, Miami is not the Miami of old, but they are not the Miami that we've seen the last few years. They're doing a little bit better this year, right? Just a tad bit better, right? And this game, they would have normally lost to a Clemson team in overtime. They went 2 overtimes, and Miami beat Clemson at home. Miami was at home, but 28-20. Way to go, Miami. Hey, man, make some noise in that ACC. Georgia State versus Louisiana. Georgia State pulled it off on the road, 20-17. And the last one is Nevada versus San Diego State. This one was even worse than, I guess, the Mississippi State game. These guys, Nevada went on the road to San Diego State and won the game 6-0. Can you imagine watching that game? I didn't watch it, so I don't know if it was 2 field goals and no touchdowns, or maybe a touchdown and missed the extra point. I don't know. I don't even know if it was 3 safeties. But hey, with all that being said, guys, I just wanted to give you guys a rundown of all the scores that went on in college football. Guys, I love talking college football, but like I say, I must grow, right? Rags must grow, and I must talk about things that touch me near and dear in the heart. And one of those things is Alabama football, man. But right now, point in my life, man, where God has brought me to a stage to where I need to start talking to other people. And I talk to people on the outside of here, and it ain't about sports, it's about life. And they call me back and tell me, hey, man, I appreciate the positive feedback that you gave me and how it worked for me and how now I see things changing in my life, man. And when you see that, sometimes that means you have a calling. And these are people that's close to me that I talk to. And sometimes I just give them, just talk to them and give them positivity. And instead of them listening to somebody who's always telling them the negative stuff, I tell them to think about the positive stuff. And it worked for them. And they call me and they tell me, hey, man, like, bro, you wouldn't believe the people that just called me. You wouldn't believe the jobs that just called me. You wouldn't believe this, you wouldn't believe that. And a lot of times it's all about a mindset thing. It's all believing. If you believe it's not going to work, if you don't believe it's going to work, if you don't believe that God is sitting there doing what God does, you know what I'm saying, then it won't happen, right? Because sometimes you have to have faith, but you have to put works into it too, right? It won't just fall out the sky for you a lot of times. You have to have faith and you have to work for what you want, man. And like I said, with all that being said, man, that's what I get a kick out of, and more than anything is just talking to people and helping people, because sometimes it's even tough on me. I have to give myself a pep talk. And sometimes with me talking to people and listening to the things that I tell them, I can refer that back to myself, because that may be the way that I'm thinking sometimes, and I may need a pep talk myself. But like I say, man, I feel like I got a different calling on my life, man. Like I say, man, it's all about helping people, man, and talking to people. Everything ain't always rainbows and white dove birds, man. Things get hard in life. But when it get hard in life, man, you got to remember who's in charge of your life, man. It ain't you, it's God, right? And when you go to God, right, and God leads you in a direction, that's when you go to that direction. Don't go into a direction without any guidance, is what I'm saying. Of course, you are in charge of your life, but you must know who to go to get guidance, man. And God, your Savior above, man, that's the guy that you go to get all of the guidance. I can talk about this all day, guys. because I love it. That's what I do. I talk to people at work about it. I talk to loved ones about it whenever they decide to call me. And there's a lot of people that I don't talk to anymore because I can sense the negativity. No matter how much you tell them, no matter what kind of uplifting words you give them, they just still live in a negative mindset. They live in a negative world, and that's just all that they could think of, right? They watch a lot of TV. They watch all of the drama. They just live in it. They bask in it. And a lot of people's life can't go on without them being negative. They feel like being positive is more of a cliche thing. It's more of a fairy tale thing. It's something that can't happen. But guys, just give yourself 2-3 weeks, maybe a month of just thinking positive all the time, right? Think of that job that you have that you hate going into every day, right? The boss is getting on your nerves, man. Think about that every day. Instead of waking up in the morning, and I'm telling you this because guys, Rag's been through it. Instead of waking up every morning saying, man, I hate this, man. I don't want to go. Man, can you please get me out of this, guy? Here, man, why are you still putting me through this? Guys, wake up in the morning and say, thank you, God. Thank you. And today is going to be one of the best days of my life. Every morning, wake up and say that. And when you say that, right, and you go to work and they throw a wrench at you, they throw something at you that you don't like, you don't let that upset your day. That was a bad moment in your day. So from what you told yourself earlier, you said today's going to be a great day. You don't let that one thing ruin your whole day. You take that, you say that was a bad moment in my day, but let me think more positive. We're going to turn this one day. We're gonna turn this back on track, and this is still a great day, guys. When you do that for months on end, you start to train yourself. Every morning you wake up, before you put your feet on the floor, when you turn over, you say, thank you, God, for giving me this another day. God, I'm gonna go to work, I'm gonna do what I need to do, come back, see my family, and I'm gonna work on myself. I'm gonna build my business. I'm going to go work out at the gym. I'm going to study whatever I need to study so I can make myself better. But right now, you're taking me through something for me to learn something, right? And that's just one aspect of it, guys. Like I say, you wake up with gratitude, you give God all the grace, man, and I'm telling you, you will go places. This is written in the book, man. It's all about showing gratitude. It's all about loving yourself and loving God, speaking encouragement into yourself. Sometimes you gotta encourage yourself. You're not gonna have friends. You're not gonna have a family that's gonna speak encouragement into you, right? You got to speak encouragement. You got to encourage yourself, guys. You have to. Think about this. There's some people on Facebook right now, when you post a post, they're talking about you to somebody else. You might not even believe it. It's somebody somewhere that's got a whole group chat going on about you right now, and they're talking bad about you. They say negative things about you. They may try to clean it up and say, oh, but but they're still being negative about you, right? It's somebody somewhere that's being negative about you or being negative towards you. And the only thing that you can do is keep going. Guys, it's not high school anymore. You're an adult. You must live your life, and you must live it the right way, and it's through God, man. And guys, like I say, encourage yourself, man. Tell yourself great things. You know you can do it. It's already happening. Guys, you are the best. Believe it or not, you are the best, man. Tell yourself that, and you will go far in life. You can best believe that, but you gotta keep God first. You must seek guidance from God, because that is your GPS. God is your GPS, guys. I might not have articulated that right, but in my head, I know what I mean. I know what I'm saying. It's worked for me, guys. I know you guys, some guys, man, I didn't believe in it at all, man, and I'm sorry for rambling on about it, man, but it's deep in my heart, and I love talking about it. I love trying to help other people see the vision of life, right? And here's the thing about life, and I'm gonna get off on this point right here. Here's the thing about life. God has blessed us with gifts, right? God has given us this gift of hindsight. And the only thing you have to do is use your hindsight. Rags, what do you mean about using your hindsight? Guys, use your hindsight and remember, look back and see where you was last year. See where you was 3 or 4 years ago. See where you was 10, 15 years ago, and see if God haven't brought you from that point to now, right? Brother, no matter what the path was, as I told you before, sometimes God, your path is like this, it's straight. What you have in mind, you're gonna go straight. But sometimes God will bring you here. He'll take you here, just to bring you back down here. Take you around the corner, to bring you back around the corner. That's the way God works, guys. And when I tell you, man, it's awesome. When you see it, when you look back on it and see it, you say, God, that's what you was doing. I see what you was doing. Guys, a lot of times I can remember being young and I've manifested stuff, right? Stuff came true. And it's only through believing and having faith, man. Hey, with all that being said, guys, I'm gonna get up out of here. We talk football, we talk God, right? We talk you, because we know that you are the best, right? You are the best, right? And the reason why you are the best is because you believe that you are the best and because you know that God is with you, right? Hey man, don't have no hate in your heart, right? Believe, you will achieve. Hey man, I love y'all. Rags up out this thing already. Yeah.